All right, guys. So this is looking pretty solid for a good reading here, guys. I was expecting us to open notably lower than we did, but as it turns out, it was the start of the tower card rather than it being over the weekend. We had this peak here at the very beginning of the day, followed by boom decline. This is a failure ruin when it's in this kind of direction. When it's inverted, it means like a failure on the scale of the chart that it appears in. So it's not like a multi-day failure, but on like a one-day chart, it would be a significant drop off of the high. And then we've got a low from out of the open declining from a peak into a low, right? And then that's that low correlator. And then here at the end of the day, we have a low correlator between roughly 2 and 3 o'clock. And we hit it at 2:30 and again at 2:15, followed by this notable move higher. That's that reversal, that prominent reversal, but it's a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. Either we see a decline and another fast move higher into the close, followed by a decline, like a brief peak, and a decline that increases with momentum moving forward into the post market, or this is the brief peak. This could very well be the This is probably the brief peak, is my sense, because price swings midday, right? And then here's that prudence card, tricky behavior here. It looks like we've established support, right? It looks like we've established support right here. And we have this like move to the upside, almost like we're going to break out to the upside, and then nope, turn around and we break down. That's that prudence card, my friends. Yeah, and then it looks like this is a pop and drop. Reversal. Also, there's correlation to the Knight of Wands here, indicating a rally that along a diagonal trend line that ends with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through a diagonal trend line. So I would expect that we're going to be heading south here. It is possible we go south and then back up again and then south again. But either way, we're going south from here, is my sense. That's 2024. Definitely not a lowest low thus far. I was off on that for sure, but that doesn't mean that we don't see one very, very soon. I think we probably continue this decline overnight because we've got the Ace of Cups as a low correlator here on the 6th. Ace of Cups appears in the morning after this decline here on the 7th. Truce is also pretty strong correlation to the Truce card. Right, so in other words, the Truce card energy shows up on the 7th pretty prominently, meaning that we're like on the 6th, we're still in the Tower card energy. Hopefully that makes sense. I saw a comment. I have so many things going on, guys. I like get to the comments on YouTube probably once every 2 weeks. Maybe I'm not even that good at it. I should be better at it. But I did just glance at the comments before I hopped on. Somebody was asking how often am I right? So out of 100 statements, roughly 96 to 98 of those, I fluctuate between like 96 and 98. You know, because I have my good days and my bad days. I'm a Cancer, so my energy goes up and down over time. But roughly like over, like if you looked at all 1900 predictions, it would probably come out to like a 98 point something average. So out of 100 statements, roughly 96 to 98 of those statements are going to turn out to become true. That's saying something about accuracy. But don't take my word for it. Go check out all of the predictions. There's, I mean, literally, how many do we have now? I'm curious. $1,900 videos, guys. 1,900 videos. So, I mean, it's not like a fluke, obviously, especially when we're doing the S&P 500 by the day, or excuse me, by the hour every single trading day. I mean, we've been doing it for years. And before we even started posting on YouTube, we were doing static posts on our website before video. And then before the static posts, I mean, I have like hard drives. I have hard drives of 1 day readings of the S&P 500 from like computers that are so obsolete. I just kept the hard drive and hope, like, I moved so many times. I'm like, hopefully someday I'll be able to get the photos off this. But there's probably like, I mean, easily 1,000 on like hard drives from like the past. I've probably done close to 2,000 readings specifically on the S&P 500. Yeah, and it could very well turn out that the lowest low is here on the first. There's a strong probability of that. I mean, this is going to be a very prominent low, and very likely the double X ruin is often a lowest low on a chart or on a reading. So it might be that we revisit it, or maybe it's like the lowest low after this low down here, because sometimes that happens with the reading. It becomes irrelevant after the first day, so it'd rather give me information about the next relevant low, if that makes sense. Still moving to the upside. But this looks like a fast sudden move higher that ends the rally along a diagonal trend line. We should probably break down through this here. In any case, the I see more tower card energy here. Obviously, we've got the Ace of Cups, which is the low significator from the prior day. We have lows and a low signification in the post market, which it often indicates like information about the following morning. Not all the time, but often I find that it does do that. So I got slaughtered over the weekend because we didn't have the drop that I expected, and I did something really dumb, which was break one of my trading rules, and I bought near term expiration puts, and like I always say, when you break those rules, when you try to do something, like when you try to trade irresponsibly with this information, it'll be the time that you're wrong. I'm not right all the time, and it very often happens that way, guys. So I have a little work to do, but there's a significant drop here. This is looking like a pretty significant drop on ninth because we've got this cross-reading congruency. So it may be that the highest high for the month is here, or the highest high for the month thus far, I should say, is here around the ninth, 10th, but it may be that it's on the 10th, on the ninth, because we've got this unicursal. Often you'll see unicursal energy at a peak, like an important peak. The unicursal appears in the 1-day readings on the ninth. That's a really strong cross-reading congruency. Even more so is that it appears in relationship to this devil card, which is underneath it. When we look at the 1 month, what's the correlating card for the unicursal here? What's the correlating card? It's the devil card. So there's a really significant move that's going to take place there on the ninth. Hard to say though if it's a low. If somebody's probably thinking this right now because it popped into my head. They're asking why is it going to be a lower price level tomorrow morning than the low of today? And that's hard to say because it's the Ace of Cups. So it could mean that that tomorrow in the morning we revisit the low of today, or it could mean that there's a lower price level tomorrow morning than today. One of the two. Hard to say. I think it's probably a lower price level is my sense. Hey, Buddy Bear, you want to come sit over here? You're a good boy, Hermes. Yeah. You feeling better? Hey, it was luck. KRE. Uh, whew. Yeah, so that right there, that decline there is the um Prince of Cups, excuse me, Prince of Cups, which is a decline that increases with the momentum moving forward in time. And this is an indication of a highest high in a lot of cases. Looks like that and this arrow here, we're indicating a highest high on the cusp of February, March, and I missed that, but um, we have a low slow in June. Looks like it ends up being in the end of May, really close. And then we come close to a lowest low again. Well, so we should push the upper end of a range higher to meet the high for November. It looks like it's probably a significant high Well, actually, that seems like it's involved in the May. But there's a prominent peak. And the thing is, it could have already formed. This could be the peak that already formed. But what we're supposed to do is push the upper end of a range higher. Looks like that took place there. And then there's some sort of fake out later in the month. Let's see. There might be like a there's a lot of volatility in the end of November and into December. A lot of volatility, and there's an important resistance level on a 1 year chart that'll stand out both in the end of November and in the beginning of December. It'll stand out. It's important on like a 1 year chart, and there'll be a lot of price change around it, allowing to trade both directions, like at separate times. So maybe short first and then long back to, or the other way around, long first and then short back to the line. But I think it's probably short first back to it or something like that. And it looks like the November high will be higher than the December high. But I think it's probably a separate high, and there's another high in December, in the early part of December, but it's not as high. And then there's another peak towards the very end of December that's not as high as the peak at the beginning of December. There's also prominent troughs on a 1 year chart as we leave the. I might have started at 2024. Let's see. Oh, nice. I probably did this reading already. It's probably already posted. Yeah, so I think probably this highest high that I have here in February is going to end up being in January, or on the cusp of February, January. And by the time we get into February, we're probably going to see a lowest low thus far. But it is pretty bullish throughout the year for KRE in 2024. So these might be opportunities, around these levels. Since we've already seen the lows, prices around these levels are probably good opportunities. And you'll get another opportunity, a pretty significant opportunity in May of 2024 as well. See that? Rally along a diagonal trend line ends with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. So we probably have a decline, and then right around the close, like some sort of move to the upside, ending the decline, at least for the day. That provides a brief peak. It's either that or we've already seen the brief peak. It's hard to say. But I'll be looking to close out of short positions tomorrow in the morning. Whether or not like it turns out the way that I expect, I'm gonna get out and take a breather, because what I found, I've noticed a pattern this time around is that I do really, really well, and then all these other components of life come together. All the work that I have to do, doctor's appointments, people get sick, you know what I mean? All sorts of things happen, and it's like my ability to stay focused and make the money doesn't last as long as my desire does to make the money. So if I do it at short intervals, I think that's really the way to do it. I always start off really, really good, and I wanna be prepared for when we go into Mercury retrograde towards the last week of November, and we should right around the last week of somewhere around the cusp here of November, December, like give or take like 2 weeks. Could be the last 2 weeks of November, could be the last first 2 weeks of December. Somewhere in there, we're gonna get a black swan event having to do with Russia. That's what I've been picking up on. Hey, AV. Haha. So you asked that question. It was you. It was Luck. I was like, somebody's actually thinking this question right now. Because I wasn't looking at the screen. That's probably an attack from Russia. That's what I'm picking up on. Man, we're like on the same vibe right now, same frequency. Something from Russia that's unexpected, some sort of attack. Wouldn't that be something else if it killed the internet for 1 to 2 weeks? I doubt that that actually happens. I highly doubt that it kills the internet for 2 weeks, but it might kill something in the internet for 2 weeks. You know, like it might fulfill its mission for 2 weeks. And yeah, that'll definitely impact the market. It's happening. There's always some sort of catalyst around the retrograde stations, and it's like lined up really well with this with the shadow period of retrograde, which is where we usually see a reversal right around there at the edge of the shadow. Usually to the downside, not always, so you have to be careful. But usually it's pretty hectic downward energy here, and then you have another reversal when you get to the station of the planet, and then you start to go the opposite direction. And then when you get into 2024, we have the other shadow, and we'll mimic in 2024, early in 2024, or in the early part of January, I should say, we will mimic um, the chart behavior of this first shadow period somewhat, pretty well, not completely. Okay, yeah. So we are gonna have so the this is actually not the brief peak. Now looking at it now, it's more easily decipherable. And that's that orange correlation to the Knight of Wands, which is a rally along diagonal trend line, ending with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line. And what that means is that this decline is going to turn into a fast sudden move higher, ending the decline, probably taking us into a peak right around the close before more decline tomorrow. And it's really, really hard to say if we're going to see tomorrow morning the same lows as we had today, or if they're going to be lowered lows. I think it's based on the Prince of Cups here. Decline increases with momentum moving forward in time. My sense is that we probably do see a lower price level tomorrow morning with this Ace of Cups. This is also a very bearish ruin in this sense. This is the most bearish card in the deck. Want to trade around decline through multiple supports. We got this decline increasing with momentum moving forward in time. We've got this decline through multiple supports off of a brief peak that's easily missed here at the close. So and I missed the eight. This could be. This is a cross reading. I'm not so sure it's relevant on this reading, but I'm going to mark it off because if it's a big enough drop, which who knows, it could be. If it's a big enough drop, then this would be relevant. Why won't it let me mark it up? I guess it's not relevant. That's why it won't let me mark it up. Thank you. Everything happens for a reason, my friends. Every little thing. Next time somebody cuts you off, stop for a second and take note. Was that where you were supposed to turn to begin with? And they were like cutting you off to like get you to stop and look? Because the universe will pull that with me all the time. And like I said, it was difficult to determine where the high was on this reading because of the nullified high significator, but I circled off kind of like midday. I wasn't far off. Really wasn't far off. All right, so there is a cyber attack. It's a successful cyber attack. Okay, so it's not going to knock out like the whole internet, but it's going to knock out some of our infrastructure like maybe power, uh not it's not going to do anything as far as like hacking into the stock market or anything like that. I already checked. That doesn't mean the stock market's not going to be impacted by it. I also, let's see. Yeah, so it's like the week of December 11th. And it's going to knock something out for like up like between 18 and 30 days. But I already have notes here, strong clairvoyant impression about the day of the 11th, December 11th and December 13th. It could be the same event or it could be another one. Like we could have this hacking or this the cyber attack earlier, and then in early December something else takes place. That's a possibility too. All right, I'll take care of that after this live session, AV. I wanted to try something out and see if people like that better. Obviously, we don't. So I'll take care of that for you. In a negative way. My sense is that it's a negative. Yeah, it's gonna create a lot of volatility and a sharp drop that stands out in that period of volatility. It's quiet Monday, huh? Right, so we had this opportunity here to open up shorts. We had this opportunity here to open up shorts. We're below both of those now. Not this one by much, but it's about there. Point is that those were both opportunities to short, and by using deduction like Conrad was able to do, which is really a lot of how ESOMeta extrapolates its information is through deductive reasoning. You could determine the overall trend direction based on that for a few days. And then we have this. It looks like out of a decline, fast sudden move higher, marking the end of a decline, followed by a brief peak that's easily missed. Matter of fact, I think that I retract my previous statement, because now that we're almost at like 340, it's very clear this is the brief peak that's easily missed, and we're going to go into a decline here that increases with momentum, right? So we had this low, this reversal, more decline, another low, and a fast sudden move higher out of that decline, brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline that increases with the momentum moving forward in time, probably overnight into the morning, with some price swings in the post market. But there's definitely a lot of bearish energy going on here first thing in the morning, and that's where I'll look to close out of my short positions. Not my puts that expire in the third week of November, but all my other puts, and I'm gonna like collect myself and focus on where my next entry point will be. Oh, I hear you, AV. I'll take care of it. No worries. Should you get a dog? Probably. Let me see. I might be biased, but let's see what the cards say. Oh, it's a big yes. A really big yes. The Aeon card. Like, it probably will impact personal growth for you. Or expand some area of your life quite a bit. Maybe the social aspect. I know that my dog has done that, like, significantly. Almost everybody that I socialize with, I've met through my dog. I guess I'll probably roll a little early here. Well, let's give them, what is it? We'll see if, let's see. Usually some people hop on towards like the 43, 45 ish. So I'll stick around to see if anybody hops on. But I'll probably end the session a little early today just because it's so quiet, and that'll give me extra time to record the Tesla. Well, I would recommend getting a small dog personally. There's a very big difference between having a large dog and a small dog, and it's not just about like space in living situation. It has to do with health. It has to do with managing safety. Like a big dog can get into like all sorts of stuff. I actually watched like board dogs on the side, so I know a lot about dogs. Big dogs are much more likely to get into the trash and eat things they shouldn't eat, and get on top of things. Like a little dog is very easy to hide things from the little dog and keep them out of reach. Um, when you need to travel, a small dog is definitely way easier. There's nothing wrong with big dogs. It's just there's a lot of differences. Like the amount of food that you feed a big dog is probably like 4 times what I feed Hermes. So that alone is like 4 times the cost just because it's a large dog. There we go, guys. Ba boom. That's my 2 cents on dogs. Beware of cryptos in March 2024. My earphones died. Um, let's see here. It does look like there's something going on in March. Yeah, March looks pretty mixed, but there's definitely a notable bottom in there. However, it's either going to be the same lowest low as what we already saw on like the cusp of January, February, or it'll be, or it won't be as low, is my sense. Big move out of it, and then a big move back down. Might see the low twice. There's a lot of mixed behavior going on in March. If you have the Bitcoin 2024 reading, there's a really significant trade in there too. Hey Joe, does Walmart beat expected earnings on the 16th? Thank you. I think Joe, I think a better question, what you're more interested in asking, is probably sometimes. So like you in your mind you're anticipating that if it beats earnings, then the price of the stock is going to go up. Am I right in making that statement? And so really what you want to know is, will the price of Walmart go up in relation, or go up as a result of earnings? Right? They're different. They're totally different things. Like they could beat earnings and the price still goes down. So let's see we'll ask what the result for earnings is, and then we'll see about chart behavior. Let me do this over. I was a little distracted. Walmart beat what's Walmart's earnings results? Next earnings results. Ooh, the death card. That's not so good. See if I do have any notes. Sometimes I do, but not often for the earnings. But it feels like a definitive miss to me. Nothing there. It's in my book. I should like probably open up my book at some point online. It's a miss. And then as far as like the chart behavior as a result, yeah, there's some sort of, it's definitely bearish. It's bearish as a result, and it looks like we attempt to establish support at an important support level to the downside. Cool, quantum healing event. That sounds cool. I got the Ace of Cups. That's very auspicious. A lot of good things will come from that. You're welcome, Joe. You're welcome. It was luck. All right, I'm just gonna run through real quick what I'm intending to do, guys. So my account got freaking melted over the weekend. We did not have the drop that we wanted, and it's exactly as I say. When I break the rule and I do something that's irresponsible, the universe will make sure it's that time that I'm wrong. Like, ugh. You have to maintain responsible trading at all times with this. The universe is not going to let you like just leap over everybody with like this magical gift of like always knowing everything in one direction. Like, it gives you the edge, but you must trade responsibly. So in any case, what I'll be doing tomorrow is making back some of that loss in the morning, hopefully closing out of the shorts there. It's to get kind of bearish here. There's not a lot of cross-reading congruencies to determine where we are. We're somewhere like around the Truce Prince of Discs area. And then we get back into cross-reading congruency on the 8th with the Swiftness card back on time. Yeah. So I'll probably get back into a short position with this Magus card on the 8th at the end of the day. In the midst of this rally here. Maybe add to it a little bit on the 9th, but there should be a pretty serious drop there continuing into the following day. So I'll be taking a breather. In other words, I'll be taking a breather once I exit out of those short positions and getting back into focus as far as like down the road, what'll be my next trading opportunity, which is looking like the edge of Mercury retrograde. Will you make money in crypto? I mean, I don't know if I like that question, but it seems like I feel like it's the type of question where like you're kind of like setting your future in stone when you get the answer. Like the future is malleable, guys. Just to be clear. But I am getting advised that you should focus more on stocks than on crypto. AV. Crypto didn't seem too like easy in a direction, and it was kind of like pointing towards focusing more attention towards stocks. DXY this week. It's going to be kind of like mixed throughout the week. Kind of like crisscrossing back and forth through the same price level. Pop and drop on Monday. Caution advised on Tuesday, like false tops or bottoms or some sort of tricky behavior. Wednesday, a lot of volatility, a resistance level that you could trade around in both directions. Notable move to the upside on Thursday. And the fortune card on Friday, which could indicate like a new local high, or it could just mean like there's a significant reversal there. Probably a new local high, because it follows the Magus card and the success card. Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, guys, my opinion on crypto versus stocks is stocks are way better investments for the most part. There's definitely money that can be made in crypto, for sure. But, like, there's so many cryptos that are just not going to go anywhere or be relevant ever. And it's like, you know, there's just like this big game of, like, how many different ways can we make something that people will pay money for, you know? So you want to be mindful of that. Stick with the ones that are pretty well known or pretty well followed, you know, for the most part. And then, you know, put your money in something that's more proven, like the stock market. I got a significant yes for that. It was luck. I got the abundance card. That's a big deal. All right, with that said, my friends, I'm going to roll. Thank you all so much for watching. So we're going to have, so on my end, guys, I'm going to have some expenses coming my way from my family. So I'm getting a little stressed out. Anybody that's thinking about doing like a monthly subscription, love to see you do that anytime soon to increase our monthly peace of mind, if you will, because there's definitely some new expenses headed my way. I've got older parents, if you know what I mean. And then eventually we will start doing morning ones that are you have to sign up for a membership to get access to. Oh, what is this? Join right here. You click join. It would be the premium supporter. For morning sessions for the most part, maybe some other places as well. But if you are interested in signing up for a monthly subscription and you've been thinking about it, this is where you go. SO Meta Posts. Monthly subscription. Click here to order. Gives you the full version of all of these ticker and crypto symbols. And then if you get, as well as the Amazon, Google, and NVIDIA, or you can subscribe to any of these individually, but you can't do that with the Amazon, Google, or NVIDIA. You need to get the all paid to see those. All right, my friends, thanks so much for watching. And as always, make sure to follow that Rule of Karma here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of the profits from every profitable trade should be donated forward to one of these charities here on the resources tab. 5% of the profits should be donated back to the channel. Thank you very much. That's what helps support the channel. Leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that money out of love. The universe is expecting you to do so with every profitable trade. And for those of you that do, it considers you an angel investor. The universe will send it back to you tenfold through this channel. Neglect to follow through, the universe is going to neglect to follow through for you as well. That's just how it goes, my friends.